Something changed about 6 weeks ago. Your manager used to stop by your desk or ping you on chat. Now everything comes in an email. A conversation you had on Tuesday shows up Wednesday morning as a written recap that is slightly different from what you remember agreeing to. Small things you have done for 2 years are suddenly being mentioned. Your one-on-ones feel less like check-ins and more like interviews. And you have started telling yourself that you are probably imagining it. You may not be. What you are describing is what it looks like from the inside when a manager starts building a file. Here is how to tell the difference between documentation that is about you and documentation that is not. And what to do in the window before anything formal happens. This is what the talent. First, understand what is being built. Before any organization issues a write-up, a PIP, or a termination, someone has to be able to show a documented history. Not a feeling. Not a reputation. Dated, written, specific evidence that a problem existed, and that you were told about it. That is what protects the company. And that means the documentation always comes before the action. Always. Which is the part most employees never realize. By the time a PIP lands on your desk, the file has been open for weeks. Sometimes months. The write-up is not the beginning of the process, it is the middle. So the moment you notice documentation changing is not a bad moment. It is the earliest useful moment you will get. Most people find out when the paperwork arrives. If you are noticing now, you are ahead of where most people are when they start paying attention. Here is what the shift actually looks like. Sign 1. Verbal becomes written. This is the clearest signal. Conversations that used to happen at your desk now arrive as emails. And more importantly, you get the recap. Just confirming what we discussed. If a manager who never sent recap emails starts sending recap emails, something changed. Sign 2. Old things become new issues. The lateness that was fine for 2 years. The formatting preference nobody mentioned. The tone in one email from March. When behavior that was previously acceptable suddenly becomes worth mentioning, the standard did not change. The purpose of noticing it did. Sign 3. The relationship goes flat. The warmth drops out. Not hostility, neutrality. The small talk stops. The manager who used to joke with you is now correct and careful. People become formal with you when they are preparing to do something formal to you. Sign 4. Other people get copied. Their manager. HR. A peer who has no reason to be there. Routine messages suddenly have an audience. That audience is the record. Sign 5. Meetings increase but help decreases. More check-ins, less actual support. You leave those meetings with less clarity than you went in with. Because the purpose of the meeting is not to develop you. It is to have had the meeting. Sign 6. The feedback becomes unfixable. This one matters most. Specific feedback sounds like the report was late twice this month. You can fix that. Unfixable feedback sounds like there are concerns about your communication style, or you are not quite aligned with where the team is going. Vague enough that you cannot solve it. Documented enough that it counts. When feedback stops being actionable but keeps being recorded, that is the signal. Now the honest part. Because I do not want you walking away from this seeing threats everywhere. Sometimes documentation increases and it has nothing to do with you. A new manager often documents everyone because they were trained to, or because they are nervous, or because they are covering themselves in a role they are not yet securing. A company under legal pressure or audit will push documentation requirements across every team at once. A reorg on the horizon makes managers justify every role on paper, including the good ones. And a manager who is themselves under pressure will start documenting defensively with everybody. So here is the test. Is it happening to just you? Or is it happening to your whole team? Ask a colleague casually. Has Dave started sending recap emails to you too? If the answer is yes, this is a management style change or an organizational requirement. Breathe. If the answer is no, and it is only you, take it seriously. That single question will tell you more than a month of worrying. Before the moves, one trap. Do not confront them about it. The instinct is strong. You want to walk in and say, "Are you building a case against me?" Do not do that. 3 reasons. 1. You cannot prove it, so you will be told no, and now the conversation is on record as you being paranoid. 2. You alert them. Right now you have information they do not know you have. That is your only advantage. Do not hand it back. 3. It changes nothing. If a file is being built, naming it does not close it. It just makes the process quieter. The goal is not to win an argument. The goal is to be prepared for whatever is coming. Move 1. Open your own file today. And if you want the exact framework for what to document and how, I built a free guide that walks through it. Link in the description. Whatever they are documenting about you, you document about the work. What you delivered. When, with numbers. Every positive piece of feedback, screenshot it. Every request you fulfilled. Every deadline you hit. Keep it somewhere that is not company property. Not because you are planning a lawsuit. Because in every one of these situations, one side has a record, and the other side has a memory. You want to be the side with the record. Move 2. Match the register. If they went written, you go written. After every meaningful conversation, send your own recap. Thanks for the discussion, confirming the priorities we agreed on are X, Y, Z, and the timeline is Friday. Warm. Professional. Unremarkable. And it means the written record is no longer only theirs. Move 3. Ask the clarifying question. Not the accusation. The clarification. I want to make sure I am prioritizing correctly. What would an excellent quarter look like from me? And is there anything I am currently doing that you would want done differently? Then write down the answer and send it back. That question is completely reasonable. And it does something useful. It forces vague concerns into specific, answerable terms, or it exposes that there are none. Either way, you learn something. Move 4. Fix what is genuinely fixable. This one requires honesty with yourself. If some of it is real, if the report actually was late twice, fix it visibly and immediately, and document the fix. A file with a clear correction inside it is much harder to build a case on than a file that only goes one direction. Move 5. Quietly get your options current. Resume updated. Network warm, runway number known. You are not necessarily leaving. But the worst version of this is being surprised by paperwork with a stale resume and no savings picture. Do it this month. Calmly, while nothing has happened yet. The documentation always comes before the action. Which means noticing it early is not the bad news. It is the only advance warning the process gives you. Check whether it is happening to everyone or only to you. Do not confront it. Open your own file. Match the register. Ask the clarifying question. Fix what is real. And get your options current while you still have time to be calm about it. Most people find out when the write-up lands. You found out with the runway, use it. Comment file below if you are watching this happen right now. This is what the talent. The move is yours.